me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Wait, don't go in there. He's doing his podcast.
X is breaking the stool. Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Successfully Failing Podcast. Wow, 2 episodes in 2018 already. We're only 7 days in. Breaking records. So, yeah, what's up, X?
Chilling, man, chilling.
Say hi, Chris.
No.
Yeah, Nick is not here. Sorry, I got distracted by a vibration on my pants, my phone. So anyways, we're back with another episode of the Successfully Failing Podcast, and as promised, we're going to give you countdowns. So we've got 2 lists. We've got, top 10 wrestling matches of 2017, and top 10 wrestlers of 2017. But before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know that Comic Bar Con is going down again. It's going down at Nutty Irishman on February 10th. If you're down, if you're around the area, come through. There'll be more info on the Successfully Failing Facebook page and the Successfully Failing Instagram. Successfully Failing on Facebook is facebook.com/thisissf, and the Instagram is This Is Successfully Failing. So yeah, go over there. We provide more info as the days go on. There'll be artists, music, beer, food. So yeah, on to our countdown. So if you guys, I haven't even posted it yet, but I will post that later. We previously recorded a recap of New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 12. And we pretty much discussed how awesome it was, top to bottom. That we're gonna break down the top 10 wrestling matches of 2017 and the top 10 wrestlers of 2017. So let's do the wrestlers. I feel like, let's do the wrestlers first. So, Chris, you want to kick off your top? Yeah, just, you could give your top 10, and also, you give your choice and why you think they're there. You don't have to if you want to. Wait,
we're going to do like number 10, then we're going to go around, or we're just going to do the whole list?
Everybody's list. Yeah. Everybody's list. Everybody's list. Just give.
Who wants to do it once?
See, you didn't even have your list down pat.
I do have my
So
list
just
down
give
pat.
us the list.
Shibata is number 10.
Okay, so Shibata number 10.
Even though I only seen one of his matches, but he did win the New Japan Cup, and for his last match ever, he did put on a hell of a match, and slapped the shit out of Okada with that bitch maker.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was. If you guys haven't seen that, just go on YouTube and look up Bitchmaker. That's it. That right there. How Okada still has his penis and testicles, I have no idea. Okay, so Chris's number 10 was Shibata.
Alright, and I'm next?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Evil and Sonata.
Okay, Evil and Sonata.
You know what? I put them both together because they went 14-2 last year as a tag team, and they both individually just had great G1 performances.
Uh-huh.
And Evil had that match with Okada at freaking King of Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8 is AJ Styles. He's my only WWE person on the list, is honestly, who really had a good year, even though he was stuck in the middle of that stupid mid-card U.S. title feud with Kevin Owens.
Yeah. Which that should have been main event status, honestly. those two guys.
But then he did end the year. He started the year off as champion, and then he gained the title and ended it off as champion.
Okay.
7 is Minoru Suzuki.
Okay.
Even the
That's a good pick.
He's put on great matches, and he did have the good 2017, holding down the Never Open Championship for a while.
That's a good
Doing
pick,
whatever
man.
it took for him to win. He didn't give a shit. And on top of that, I enjoyed him losing his damn eye after he lost, freaking beating the crap out of the young lion for no reason.
Uh-huh.
Number 6, Marty Skrull.
Okay.
Because man is just awesome. If you go to the Bullet Club, remind you, I didn't really watch him until he joined the Bullet Club, where he's been put on a host of matches.
Mm-hmm.
He's been entertaining as hell outside of the ring too. He did end off the year with 2 championships, with the What Culture / Defiant Championship and the Junior Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, and that What Culture was their heavyweight championship too.
And
So that's like a big deal. I mean, it may not be, a lot of people may not know what Culture pro wrestling / Defiant is, but I mean, it's a big thing in the UK. So.
he had that great match with Will Ospreay at Power Struggle.
Oh hell yeah.
And then, number 5 is the Young Bucks.
Okay.
What name a tag team that had a better 2017 than the Young Bucks?
Nobody.
I dare you.
You can't even say like.
Yeah, Young Bucks been holding it down for like years.
no, yeah, but this year, like, all right, so you could go to like last year and say like the New Day.
Well, actually, I would say the New Day like 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. So who was the big tag team
and
last
the
year?
New Day held that belt for like, okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Alright.
Because also too, outside of the ring with the whole invasion shit and Vince taking doing all cease and desist with them. And
Yeah, if you could
they
get
just
on,
took that shit
if
and
you're
ran with it.
if you're independent property and you could get under Vince's skin like that right there says a lot.
Mind you, it's not even the rest of the Bullet Club. It's just them two. He has a problem with
Yeah.
because they'll make the money off the Too Sweet.
Yeah.
Because they rejected him. That's why.
Yeah. Vince is a bitter man. But yeah, so who's next?
Naito.
Okay.
That man, that was his redemption year.
Yeah.
Even though especially with him winning the G1 and actually being able to go into the main event, not getting voted out of the main event this year.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, he should have won. If he would have won the title too, he would have been a lot higher in the list.
Okay.
Number 3, Cody.
Okay.
He took the whole thing and proved that WWE is not the be all end all of everything.
Mm-hmm.
This man has it all. He won the ROH championship. He made the ring. He had those great matches. All that joined the Bullet Club. From the start of him joining the Bullet Club on, it's just that this man has skyrocketed even further than he did on.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, this is gonna shock you guys. You think he would have probably been number 1, but the cleaner, the leader of the Bullet Club, Kenny Omega.
Okay.
If this guy would have been Mr. King of the 6-star match,
Yeah.
you know, from the first match I seen of his in the Wrestle Kingdom, then he been on a hell of a match. If he would have won the title, then he would have been number 1.
Uh-huh.
Let him winning the U.S. title and doing the best he can to try to bring some prestige to that championship. Especially with that match he did with Jericho, that shit was really tough.
Yeah.
And number 1, Kazuchika Okada.
All day.
Okay.
Who has had a better 2017 than this fucking man?
He's having a John Cena-esque year.
No. Don't
I'm
say that.
kidding.
He only had two single losses. All of them
which kind of didn't mean anything because all
It's
that
in-
all
it's in
that
the
was
only-
to go after him. So
But they
it's
were,
like
they were non-title matches.
Yeah.
They were at the G1,
so
and he had that in one tie.
if
He
you,
all
even
year.
was the first person to beat him in like a whole year and like a half or something like that.
it's funny if you think about it. Technically, that
Why
I mean,
have
providing
Cody
that he
Rhodes?
holds on to the belt, that G1 is to go after him. So it's almost like he was strategically losing to mess up other people's chances and whatnot. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, you could continue. My bad.
Like I said, dude, I don't care if WWE wants to hate me all I want, but this man, him and Kenny Omega,
You know-
are the two best wrestlers in the damn world right now.
Thankfully, the 5 to 6 listeners that we do have are actually like on the same boat that we are. So you might not get that heat. We
Chris-
haven't reached that peak of
Chris is a
popularity
hater.
yet. So
Chris is a hater. He had this whole list and not one Roman Reigns mentioned.
Why the fuck would he be mentioned on
Alright.
this fucking list?
all right, your turn
I'm
next.
talking about great
Alright.
wrestlers.
All right.
All right, my list kind of changed up, so I'm just going off the head right here.
Okay.
All right, number 10, I give it to The Miz, because outside of AJ Styles, he's the only one that's actually holding it down
Mhm.
while being held down.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Mhm.
It's the only one.
And he might get the belt back once he comes back. Honestly, I think Roman Reigns. That's just the way to give him a belt to make him seem relevant. But Miz is gonna take that shit.
Tomorrow, too.
Oh, he does.
Yep.
Nice. All right. Cool.
And number 9, I give it to Shibata. Although he should have been higher. It's just that because of his injury, though he's out for the whole year.
was cut
And
short.
He's out
Yeah.
for his career.
and yeah, basically, and this guy, if anybody has followed him, you know how he does. He wrestled his match like it's his last match.
I've seen one Shibata match. I finally saw that Shibata Okada match for you.
Oh my God,
Dude,
you have
that
missed
right
so
there.
much. We saw the Shibata Ishii match.
No, I only saw the headbutt spot. That was it. Where they kept
I still
headbutting
have to
each
see
other.
the Shibata and
I actually
Shibata
see the whole match. The only Shibata match I've seen in its entirety was the one that you showed me with Okada.
Oh man,
Yeah, no, no.
he does so much out there.
Dude, we got the app, man. So
There's
Just
so
like
much
the,
out
just
there.
like the Goto match, I still have to rewatch that shit in Wrestle Kingdom because I didn't really pay attention to it.
Okay, and where am I up to? Number 8,
yeah.
I put it up to Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
He was holding it down in the Super Juniors. He was holding it down in the Super Juniors, and this was, I would say, his, from what I've been following him, his best year since I've been following him. Because he also, I believe he also had a belt, and he fought Shibata. I don't think it's the same year, in 2007, but I know it was like late 2016. He had some. No, or was it Zack Sabre? Oh no, that's my bad. I think that was Zack.
He lost the title. He finally beat Kushida to lose the belt to Marty.
Yeah, well, yeah, but yeah, he had a. I think this was his breakthrough. For his whole career, you know, he's been really holding it down, especially for the juniors.
Mhm.
Numbers, where am I? 7?
Yeah.
I give it to Kushida,
Okay.
another junior guy.
You know what's crazy? You could make a top 10 on the juniors alone. Like that. That's how good that division
I
is.
think there's only 2 juniors that's going to be in this.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just saying that's how good they are.
Because Kushida was holding it down before Ospreay finally came in. Because he in the best of Super Juniors,
Mhm.
he
That's
had
another thing I gotta watch too.
he had a great match with Ospreay. Great match. And where my number is 6.
Yeah.
Number 6, I would say Cody Rhodes
Okay.
skyrocketed.
Yeah, dude.
Dude skyrocketed from.
What's your reason
He
why
might be
he's
the
not
he
higher?
might be the catalyst for like wrestling's future. Like, you know, guys like not wrestling's future, but the future of wrestling. Like, you know, guys like Bryan and Ziggler and all that, which is what they need. And mind you, he's younger than those guys. Well, at least he's younger than Ziggler.
What's your reason why he's only
And the
number
fact-
6?
No, the fact that because we've known Cody Rhodes from the Stardust WWE days,
Mm-hmm.
Even
and
before
then he left, and look what happened. He look at the matches he's putting on quality matches.
Yeah.
Quality match. I mean, I knew he had it in him because Goldust good, and I cannot sit here and believe like especially when he went to that Stardust character when he first went there. I'm like, all right, this is probably they don't have nothing better for him, but this shit better be done soon.
But you know what's funny though? Despite how stupid it was, he made it work. You know, that's the crazy thing.
thought it was still. I mean,
No, it was dumb.
I mean, when he was teaming with Goldust, that's the only use for that gimmick.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But he made it
But
work.
now
though,
Goldust
despite
left,
the fact
and,
that
and
they,
he's
yeah.
still using that. I mean,
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
That was fucked up on WWE's part. Like, you got nothing better for the son of one of the most. Matter of fact,
they don't care for pedigree,
dude, it's crazy. Well, some people they do, but it's crazy because if you listen to like a Jericho podcast or whatever, when he's talking to or anybody, it's usually actually is Jericho. He does this thing where, usually like wrestlers he speaks to will have a story about Dusty, and he always has this thing. He has this thing where he tells them to give an impression of Dusty. So it's like everybody who had an encounter with Dusty, he always says to give an impression. That's like a thing he has. But yeah, so as big as he is, and you're gonna shit on the son. Well, they did it with Axel. Both Dallas.
Everybody got shit
Bray
on
Wyatt.
except for Randy Keith Orton.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlotte.
Well, Charlotte was even if she's not Flair's daughter, she still would have because she's good.
But
Yeah.
look at Natalia.
She's good.
She's a heart. And she did
Well,
shit.
we all know
They
how
don't
that
like the
story
Hart
went.
Dynasty. Yeah, they don't like the Hart Dynasty.
But yeah, so wait, what are we at? Number 5 now,
Yeah,
right?
we at number 5, and I got AJ Styles.
Okay.
And I know some people's pretty high on the list, but the only bright spot of that, outside of The Miz, who's been holding down while being held down, only bright spot in the upper card is AJ Styles. Holding quality matches. He got a good match out of Brock Lesnar. You can't say that these days.
Dude, he's had good matches with John Cena, with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, she started off the year with a great match with John Cena.
Yeah, something we don't hear, we don't say a lot. We don't say John Cena and best match of the year, in the same sentence really ever.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, man, he's holding it down hard, man. Holding it down hard. Okay, so where am I? Number
4.
4?
Yeah, you just hit 5. Yeah.
Okay, so number 4, I would have to go with Tanahashi.
Okay.
I mean, I know his last Wrestle Kingdom match was, kind of
It wasn't spectacular, but it wasn't bad by any means.
Tanahashi-ish, but
Yeah.
even though he's been banged up and whatever, he still held it down, especially in that G1. Just about all of his matches were great.
I think that's what killed him. I think the G1 really took a toll on him because he went in.
Guy got a
G1.
fucked up arm, fucked up leg, and he tore it up in the G1.
He's just waiting for. He's not gonna stop wrestling until he's not even gonna get 30. He's just gonna wait. For
Yeah,
that
he's
fucking
gonna be that
mindset
dude that
to pop up.
he's gonna wait for that. He's gonna be that dude that, like, not dies in the ring, but like how Shibata can't wrestle anymore.
Yeah.
Stone Cold can't. He's gonna be that dude. Like, he physically can't do it.
Yeah, I got Tanahashi. I mean, I had to put him up there. I mean, he had a fantastic G1. Fantastic G1. Well, before I go to the top 3, I'm going to have my honorable mentions.
Yeah, and you gotta give those 2. I forgot about that. If you have a couple guys that are not on the list, but yeah, let
I got Zack Sabre Jr.
Def.
I got Sonata and
Yeah.
Evil.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of missed the cut.
Yeah.
And I would put Jericho there just for doing a good job jobbing to the Owens.
No, the list of Jericho.
The-
OKO,
the
yeah.
most stupidest thing
'Cause-
ever fucking worked.
No, but those were some good matches, though. Yeah, like especially yeah.
Oh, no, that was 2016.
Yeah.
Never mind.
What else? Shit. Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she should have been on the list.
Yeah.
But I think that her going up to the main roster kind of killed it.
Yeah.
Asuka, and yeah, that's it. That's the.
Okay. Any honorable
And-
mentions for you?
Tanahashi, Will Ospreay, Juice Robinson actually.
Oh, that's a good one.
But if we do a most improved one, he's definitely on that shit. Kota Ibushi
Okay.
and The Miz.
All right. Cool. Oh yeah. Now you.
Oh, and Kushida.
Okay.
And number 3 would have to go to Naito. Got a great story going on
Mm-hmm.
and organic booking.
Yep.
I wish WWE would do some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're
Or,
just gonna keep going.
great character.
Yep.
He's leader of a great stable, and he's like another one with like the one of those great wrestlers that could work with anybody.
Mm-hmm. So I'm really curious to see him and Jericho.
Yeah, he could work with anybody.
Yeah.
He's just that good. He just reminds me of a Ric Flair times 100. But he could actually he got more wrestling talent. But yeah, he's a good showman. Could be a good prick. And number 2, selfish ass Kenny Omega.
Okay.
Because it's kind of self-explanatory. This guy, ever since Wrestle Kingdom 11, he's been I would just say red hot.
Yeah.
He's been red hot. He got a good emergence, and coming from a guy who was a junior.
Yeah.
Held it down ever since that. His stock went up, and he had never slowed down. He had that. He just he just stepped on that gas, and he's still going that 100-mile-per-hour shit.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since that with Okada.
Yeah,
And
put on some sick Okada matches. He had a great match with Juice. He had a great match with Elgin, with Ishii. Just all around. Beretta, that was a solid match, and then obviously the Jericho match. And yeah, whatever he did was entertaining.
Yep. And number 1, of course, the Rainmaker. Actually, this guy really been my number 1 wrestler for the past 3 years, really. So anybody knows me, I've been talking him up, and everybody's like, who the hell is this guy? So yeah, Okada, self-explanatory, the best in the world. That's it.
That's tough to argue
He
with.
got a legendary reign going on, and just about every one of his matches are like classic, and it's not one-sided. It keeps leaving you wondering, this guy might lose. Great storytelling and all that.
Yeah.
That's my list right there.
Okay.
The only way you know the match is over when he connects with the Rainmaker is when they do that flip. If they don't do that flip, that shit ain't over. He didn't connect right.
All right. Now I'm gonna start with I'm gonna start it off with my honorable mentions. So first honorable mention goes out to the entire NXT roster.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, because outside of a handful of people, which you really don't see that much, everybody's solid, and even those people that you really don't care about and you feel like are whack, they're still booked properly, so to speak. There's nobody's really forced on you, like that whole Billy Kay and Peyton Royce, whatever the hell their names are. I forget. It's Peyton Royce and Billy Kay, right?
Yeah, the iconic.
Yeah, they I didn't like that they were thrown into the picture, but it was kind of like one of those things. I guess they didn't want either Ember Moon or Nikki Cross to sort of lose, so you throw them in there, whatever. But even that, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, so everybody from top to bottom. CN, guy's not even in 2K. That shit makes no sense to me. I was super surprised to have him see him win the belt. I didn't think that was gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody that comes and goes, Zack Sabre Jr. should easily be on this list. Dude, the honorable mentions are crazy. This should have been a top 20.
I should have put War Machine.
Yeah, dude, War Machine. Even it's hard to there's so much. We should have did a 20, but yes, I would say Zack Sabre Jr., the entire NXT roster, and anybody else who I didn't include in the junior heavyweight division. That like I said, you could make a top 10 on them alone. My number 10 is gonna come off. Is gonna be a weird one to you guys maybe. Braun Strowman.
No, that's understandable.
Yeah, and the reason why I put him there is because though he's that typical big man, sort of limited, it was all natural for the most part.
Yeah.
And despite the shitty booking where they have him as this monster, and then actually no, it was Roman Reigns that got the short end of that stick because they were building him up like he was a beast, and then Braun Strowman beat him. But anyways, it's just weird how they have how the booking is in WWE, but that's no surprise. But yeah, he's been a vintage big man, probably one of the few things Vince has gotten right. And he seems to have a knack for it. He's only been doing it for 4 years or something like that. Not that long. And he's picking up, so I think he would benefit from a guy like Paul Heyman. But but either way, he's doing what he's doing as a solo guy. But yeah, for a big man who's limited, he's really consistent. Doesn't feel forced. You know what Vince is building him up to be actually seems successful for him and for Braun. Number 9, The Miz. So like what X pointed out, he's outside of AJ Styles. He's been the most consistent person in the WWE. I mean, when he's on the mic, he's exciting. When he's in the ring, he's exciting. He does it by himself. He does it with the Miztourage. And even though they kind of shit on him with not giving him, actual matches on the card in big pay-per-views, what was it, SummerSlam? Pre-show? Come on. But despite the horrible booking, and again, that's typical of WWE. This has always been great. I mean, and it seemed like he was like back and forth the last couple years, but this year it was a really strong year for him. Number 8, the Young Bucks. Easily could be top 5. Definitely, like X pointed out too, like they've been the best tag team in the past couple years. This year, what they did with the Young Bucks merch and the Bullet Club merch, and just actually sitting down and watching them, because this is like my first almost full year of watching New Japan. I've seen enough of them to see the hype. And I mean, you go back to that Wrestle Kingdom match with Yo and Show, and I mean I think that was like one of the best displays of their work. They've got it all. They can do the technical aspect. They got the technical aspects down packed. They got the high spot aspect of wrestling down packed. They've got they're a solid tag team. They're brothers, but that's something the WWE's missing, a tag team like that. Like they've got a few, but again they don't know what they're doing with that. But Young Bucks, number 8. Number 7, though I did say the entire NXT roster, Asuka, I think, gets the cut, because even though she did make her main roster debut in the later half of the year, I think before her injury, she was a beast, and even her coming up, she's still a big deal. And like I haven't been watching Raw, SmackDown, or anything like that, but it seems like they're sort of still working at that, like kind of building her up to be what she was in NXT for the most part.
I just cannot see her selling to Alexa Bliss.
That's the bad thing. Like it's amazing how she had an amazing match with Emma, out of all people. I mean, Emma can wrestle, but like Emma's not even their top star, a female star, and they put on one hell of a match. And I thought she was gonna get squashed, Emma, but Emma did her thing, and
She got fired.
well, yeah, she got fired. So that was like a squash in another sense. But I think Asuka, she's been the standout out of all females. I mean, there hasn't in the main roster, there hasn't really been anything more dominant than Charlotte, and even that, she's just like back and forth, like losing to Alexa, beating Alexa. I think last year, 2016 was probably like her year, but I think Asuka is.
She'd be losing to Alexa.
Didn't she lose to Bliss? Yeah, Charlotte lost to Bliss, right? Or am I bugging?
No.
Oh, she never lost to Bliss. Okay.
They've never been on the same brand.
Oh yeah, they kept swapping or whatever. But yeah, so Asuka, she definitely, or Asuka, belongs up there. And she's just a phenom in her own right.
They changed her spelling just to be honest.
Yeah, I don't see anybody like. It's a shame that the people that actually like I want to see.
They changed her spelling.
To be honest.
Yeah.
They really put ASKA.
Did they spell it like that? I don't know how they spell it, but.
Oh, that's how you spell Asuka.
But anyways, yeah, but she's been solid, and I don't really see. Well, wait, she's on Raw and Charlotte's on SmackDown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's not gonna happen. That would be an amazing match, but my number 7 goes to Will Ospreay. Now, like I said before, like a lot of the junior heavyweights could be up there, super juniors, whatever. I remember from the first match I saw Will Ospreay wrestle in. I was it Dominion or was it G1 special?
I think when he won the belt.
No. This is way before he was a champion. I think it was Dominion. Yeah, one of his first matches.
No,
I mean, one of the first matches that I saw.
Like
him,
a tag team.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was. Yeah, it was one of the tag teams. It wasn't a singles match, but I mean, from the second I saw him, I was like, dude, this guy is like, he's phenomenal. And then you start seeing more matches, and I see one of the matches that stood out to me of his was the well, actually, I got to see the Rey Mysterio match. Remember how you found that out? Like, I saw it when I think the day it happened or the day after it happened. I was watching it at work. Pretty solid match. I mean, granted, Rey Mysterio's old, but I mean, they put on a good match together. But the match that really stood out to me was Will Ospreay and Marty Scurll, and it was I think it was a What Culture event. Yeah, it's called Loaded, and dude, that match was awesome. Will Ospreay, I mean, he comes off as a high spot dude, you know, somebody like a high flyer only, but he slowly, like, you see the like the learning, you see him learning. Excuse me. You know, he's got a lot of different ways he can wrestle. Like if he's going against a guy who's technical, he can keep up with them, and yeah, he's not just a one show act, which is cool. Number 5 is AJ Styles. Because like we pointed out before, AJ Styles has been the most consistent guy in the WWE, despite, you know, the little mid-card run he had, which again, like I said before, should have been main event status. I mean, you have KO and AJ Styles going at it. Come on, like, yeah, and that's not like main event enough. Now, hopefully, we actually get the Shinsuke and AJ Styles at WrestleMania in some way, shape, or form. Probably won't, but maybe they actually get it right. And it's a shame too, because Shinsuke should be on this list.
Yeah.
And what they did with him was crap. I mean, yeah, it was a shame. It was almost like a waste. You should have just kept him in NXT if that's the way. But yeah, so AJ Styles is my number 5. I mean, it was nice to see him start off strong and then end the year strong, and hopefully I would love to see him hold that belt for a while. I mean, you want to add prestige to your title, let him hold the belt. Let him put on matches with. Bring him. Bring him as much challenges as you may. You know, put him against John Cena. Put him against Roman Reigns. Put him against whoever, and you're gonna get solid matches. Just let him hold on to that belt. Give him a CM Punk-esque run. You know. Number 4 is Marty Scurll. He's another guy. It was Dominion, and that was the first time I ever seen him. First time I ever heard of him. This guy just comes out flapping his arms like a bird. Just a eccentric character. His even though it was just a tag team match, like you see a little bit of his technical prowess, which is something I like to see. I mean, Chris Benoit, Jericho, Kurt Angle, definitely like top 5 wrestlers in my opinion, all time. And you know, I'm used to seeing them. Like I watch Jericho in WCW, I watch Benoit in WCW. So like, you know, you see the technical stuff, and this is when I was younger too, where I didn't really understand it like that. But I always liked the way they wrestled, because they came and they brought it. And Marty Scurll's got that kind of you know, in-ring ability. And then, you know, as you see him, as the year goes by, you see him grow, and it's just amazing that he's in a division with nothing but high flyers, and he's able to ground them. You know, he's one of the guys that he doesn't have that high flying ability. Mm-hmm. But he makes it work, and he will counter it. I mean, you go to the way he countered the Oz Cutter, and just like, just the way he goes about things, and he's an awesome heel. I mean, that Wrestle Kingdom match, he goes in there, the match starts, runs out the ring, you know, just chilling. Anytime somebody went to go get a pin, he'd run up in there, break it up, get back out. It's perfect for you know, perfect a representation of his name, the villain, you know. And then that finger shit he does. Like, for a while, we would try to figure out how he did that shit. Like, that was just gruesome. I remember the first time seeing him do it, but... And yeah, he's a cool character. Like, I mean, you see him on Being the Elite. He's just fun, he's having fun, and he gets to do that in the ring, and, you know, that's a lot of... you don't really see that in WWE. You know, guys able to be themselves in and out of the ring, and...
Only Xavier Woods in the New Day, really.
That's weird how, like, out of all people, Xavier Woods gets away with that, and the New Day, like, because, like, they get away with a lot.
Yeah. It's
almost like they know something, and mind you, too, with the whole sex tape thing, like, you know, even though, like, we were watching a video and somebody brought up a great point. They did nothing wrong.
No, they ain't doing nothing wrong, so they shouldn't be punished for it.
Exactly, but you know,
I know there's like a whole moral thing.
Man,
whatever,
if people
but,
choose to film each other having sex,
yeah,
that's
but they did it in their privacy and they got hacked, so
Yeah.
they shouldn't be.
exactly. But
I
yeah,
mean, you got kept off the TV hoping that would die down, but it's one thing. But they shouldn't be punished.
and they even made jokes about it and stuff like that. Like that's crazy. But yes, you don't see that in the WWE, and it's nice to see Marty Scurll being himself and not being held back because there's a lot of guys that like. Perfect example, Jack Gallagher. That guy is like at one point was like he reminded me of the good version of Marty Scurll in the sense that like not their personality and their gimmick so to speak, but just the way just the way they carry themselves. They're obviously they're both from from the UK, and they got the umbrellas and stuff. I just felt like they were like the yin and the yang. But he acts one way, but it's like that's really not how he wants to act. They all seem held back. But anyways, now this is where my list gets a little crazy, and a lot of people are gonna disagree with me. See if this is one of those channels that had like thousands and thousands of subscribers, and I'd probably get like anally raped in the comment section. But number 3, Cody Rhodes. Just like everybody else touched on here, we've watched him since the WWE.
I mean, it's a list on like what you think.
Yeah. No, but people forget that. People forget what the word opinion
I
is.
mean,
It's our list. We're not saying beat.
I mean, yeah, I get why you Cody at number 3. So
Yeah, but
you didn't have to explain yourself there.
I tell you one thing: opinions are opinions. But anybody who puts Roman Reigns as their number 1 is wrong. Like that. I mean, you cannot justify him being number 1. I don't care. You could say Brock Lesnar. You could say Braun Strowman. You can't say Roman Reigns. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, we've followed Cody Rhodes since the WWE days, and just what he's done. And I really firmly believe he's the catalyst for guys like Ziggler and Daniel Bryan and anybody who feels that the WWE might be the only way. Like to sort of show them that they're not the be all end all. Yeah, they're the big company, and you never know. Guys might come to the WWE and be on top of the world. Shit may change, as far as like the from the top. Probably won't, not anytime soon, but you never know, and that's why people go just for the opportunity, because obviously you're getting the money, you're getting the spotlight, but the thing is like that's not the only thing out there, and obviously you see the growth of New Japan and ROH and how they're becoming more accessible and popular, and you're bringing bigger names to the companies, yeah, I just feel like that's Cody's, like I said, the catalyst. And like something else we touched on, I don't know if we talked about this in the podcast, but like they should be able, like WWE superstars, wrestlers should be able to wrestle on other promotions. It's better for the company. It's better for wrestling in general. I mean, if that weren't allowed all around, then you wouldn't see Cody Rhodes against Okada. You wouldn't see this whole Bullet Club thing, because you got guys like the Young Bucks who are able to wrestle in New Japan, Marty Scurll, So it's perfect for business, because then you can create factions, you can create partnerships, and maybe it makes it easier bringing people to the WWE. So, but anyway, so yeah, Cody Rhodes. I mean, you just look at. I haven't really seen many of his matches this year as much as I would have liked to. Obviously, I've seen the New Japan matches, but just like you just see it, dude. Like, I mean, he's traveling the world with his wife, who wrestles as well. They're both just having fun and enjoying each other's company and living life and doing what they love and prospering from it. So that this year has been like really big for Cody. It could have very well easily been number 1. I mean, winning the ROH championship. So a lot of people don't put that into account, and he's probably going to be top 5 in the coming years too, because of the fact that he's able to be a free bird, so to speak. All right, so now this is where, like I said, I'm gonna get that heat. Now my number 2. Yeah, words, Sadie, tell him. Shut up, Dragon Dog. Get out of here. Go eat your food. My number 2, it's weird because you cannot speak of wrestlers this year and have them in separate sentences. It's almost like they're synonymous with each other. You can't. In my opinion, this at least for this year, you can't have one without the other, and that's Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada.
Hell yeah, you getting heat.
It may be a cop out. Give me heat. Shut up, Sadie. What? You mad? You don't like that pick? But the thing is, like, their biggest points of this year were against each other. So it's like, and they've done amazing things away from each other. Obviously, I'm not saying they need each other. I'm not saying they're trash without each other. I just think, in my opinion, last year 2017, you were not saying Okada's name without saying Kenny's name, or vice versa. So that's my number 2. I mean, like I said, they both had amazing runs. I mean, Okada, this is something that, you know, the wrestling world in its entirety should be speaking about. You know, this is like he beat out Tanahashi for having the longest reign as champion, not consecutive but total. Who is the ace of New Japan?
Oh, he actually does have the current longest.
But even still, he broke. Okay, but even still, in its entirety, yeah, in a shorter time, and the guy's only 25 years old, and Okada.
No, he's 30.
He's 30. Oh, why the fuck I said 20? Oh, I was thinking about somebody else. We were talking about somebody else the other day, and we were talking about their age. Forgot who it was, but yeah. So you can't have one without the other, and as great as Okada, Omega 1 and 2 were, and as awesome as their G1 matches, that anybody that calls that Kenny Okada 3 or Omega Okada 3, I think they're wrong, because it was a great match. I mean, it was nice to see Kenny get the win, but that match didn't matter. So you kind of know that Kenny was gonna get that win for the most part. But I'm not. I mean, it's Omega. It's Omega Okada 2.5, but not Part 3. I think they're due for a really big clash coming soon, at least this year. But so, anyways, yeah, I feel that's my number 2. You can't have one without the other. And this year, you know, obviously next year, they seem to be going their separate ways. Well, this year they seem to be going their separate ways or whatever. But that's my pick. And my number 1 is Tetsuya Naito. Tetsuya Naito. I don't know why I said Tetsuya. Naito, he may not have won a championship. But like, following his story, knowing where he came from, knowing that horrible run he had last time, fans turned their back against him.
Voted his ass out the main event.
Yeah, voted his, the world title out the main event. I mean, that's some, we complain about that WWE doing that, but they did it. But that's something rare. It'll never happen again. That's for sure. At least for the most part. But no, but I mean, but still, it's like, it's not gonna happen again, because even now, like this year, they had Kenny Omega and Jericho, which could have very well easily been the main event, but they respect their world title more than anything, their heavyweight title more than anything. And that's how every company should be. I don't care how big the match is. I mean, you could bring back Macho Man to have him fight, John Cena.
Unless your champion's Jinder Mahal, then it should be in the main event.
No, even still, as much as we don't like Jinder, as much as we don't like Roman, if they're the current world heavyweight champion, then they deserve to be in the championship, because no one man I think should be bigger than the company, and that's the problem with WWE. You know, they think that John Cena and The Rock and Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, they think they're bigger than, they treat them like they're bigger than the company. And then the belt, which the belt represents your country. You know? So, but anyway, so back to Naito. I mean, he's had one hell of a year. I mean, like I said, from coming from the shit he went through last year. I mean, not last year, before, his last run as the champion. Them pretty much running him out, out of the country, so to speak, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, like, you go to, you watch any match with Naito in it, I don't care who he's going against. You hear those people in the crowd, Naito, the whole time.
Well,
against Okada, I didn't hear anybody cheer for. Well, they didn't. Not that they didn't cheer for him, but those random screams.
If it was in Osaka, all you would have heard was Okada.
And this guy is a heel. I mean, like, in my opinion, the top three is interchangeable. For whatever reason, you can give anybody the top spot. Everybody deserves that number one spot between Okada, Naito, and Omega. But I just, like I said, knowing the story and just feeling for him as a person, for him to get that.
Story goes all the way back to 2013.
That's what I'm saying, and that's
when he first won the G1 and nobody gave a shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and then you look at the transition. And I really wanted him to win that belt just so he could tell everybody "fuck you." Like I really wanted him to do that, you know, because that's
what he did when he won the Intercontinental belt.
Oh, that was great, dude. that's what made me fall in love with him, dude. Like I'm not shitting on the belt or anything like that or the company, but it's just like you got a guy who comes in and just throws around the belt like, dude, like
he did it when he won the world title.
Yeah,
too.
mad disrespect.
And when he had the G1 briefcase
Well, that's-
the second time, he's flinging that shit
oh yeah, that
around.
was great.
He's like,
This
fuck
year, whenever he had the briefcase and he just throw it across the ring and shit, like
the
he
best
didn't
one
even
was
fuck
when he
about it.
actually hit Takahashi.
Yeah.
That's
No, it's funny when he won the G1. He won the G1 this year, and he like pretended to throw out. He was gonna throw out the trophy into the crowd. He's like tranquilo. But yeah, it's this swagger and this like I don't give a fuck attitude, and it's not like an in your face I don't give a fuck attitude. It's just like whatever, man. Like, dude, like tranquilo. Like
and
that's
the
it.
world needs to know it's not tranquilo. It's tranquilo.
Yeah, and like we spoke about in the Wrestle Kingdom recap, like there's still a story to be told here between each three of those guys too. So like
Yeah, well, Naito's you got actually one of his chapters done.
yeah, he's got
He
a
got his
chapter
main.
done.
He got his main event.
But
And then
he
did win the title.
he
too.
definitely needs a run though, like a run. This Naito needs a run as a champion. But yeah, like you know, we were speaking about this before. If Okada had if Okada had lost, then you kind of like that's it.
Yeah, he kind of I mean, Okada got a stronger story going on.
Yeah, you kill three birds with one stone. But just like I said, that top three of mine or top two could go either way between Kenny, Okada, and Naito. Like either one in their own right deserves a top spot. But you know, fight me if you want to. You know, that's my picks. All right, Chris. So I know you don't have a top 10 match
Oh,
list.
I did. I made one.
Okay.
No, but we should each pick one star that we should look out for.
Okay.
in
Yeah.
2018.
All right. So who's your 2018 from both WWE and New Japan?
Well, WWE.
that means nothing. But this is what we this is okay. The WWE is who we hope
Yeah.
gets a recognition, and
I'm
New
pretty
Japan
sure we
is
should- all three of us should probably do have the same guy.
Yeah, with the
It's Balor because they finally
Dude.
teamed him up with them club. I
it's
hope they do it
something's
right.
up. Something's up. They don't listen to fans like that. Something is up.
Yeah.
For
Balor and Bray Wyatt. Dude, Bray Wyatt deserves way better, man.
He
needs
does,
to be
but I
woke.
kinda gave up
They're
on
gonna
him.
woke-
I mean, he won the belt, and he's going. They put him back to
Look,
the
all you,
BS.
all you gotta do with Bray Wyatt is put him in a tag team. That's it.
I gave up on
Put him in a tag team. That's it. Like you don't have to. He doesn't have to be a solo dude no more. Yeah, they need to fucking team him up with Bo Dallas. But anyways, yeah. So your WWE is Finn Balor, and New
like
Japan.
Is the guy that we were actually talking about that was 25.
Jay White.
The returning young Lion.
Okay, Jay White. Okay.
Especially especially after that press conference he had,
Mhm.
he told him, "God, I'm not joining Chaos to be a part of Chaos. I'm doing my own thing. It's just because I'm facing the Bullet Club. I need backup.
Yeah.
But come the time, I'm out of here."
Yeah, he might do some shiesty shit because
He's gonna
Chaos
make his
ain't no
own,
real faction. Yeah.
He's gonna make his own faction.
Outside of Naito,
Chaos is not a real faction.
Outside of Okada, Yano, and what's his name, Gato. That's it. That's all that's all Chaos is to me. Like when they lost Shinsuke and all that. That's it.
And
But,
corny
alright,
ass
so-
Rocky Romero.
So who's your New Japan and WWE?
New Japan. I got a couple of people.
Okay.
I got Trent Beretta.
Mm-hmm.
I got Juice who's about to break out.
He might get the U.S. title this year.
That and Jay White.
Uh huh.
And WWE, shit. Well, shit. Other than Finn Balor, I would like to say Drew McIntyre. Because, yeah, he's injured, and I doubt he's going back to NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's a big guy like Vince likes.
That's
So, So what?
Shinsuke?
No. Drew McIntyre.
No, I'm saying the person the other person.
Oh.
He said other Drew McIntyre.
Nah. This is just Drew McIntyre. I think he's gonna
Okay.
do for a big thing because everybody else, I got no. I'm not gonna gamble that on.
Yeah, so for me, WWE, I wanna vote on Shinsuke to be a big thing this year. I just think he's gonna float around, unfortunately, unless something changes with the management. I say Bobby Roode. I think Bobby Roode should have a big year. I mean, I don't know what's happening with him this year. He just seems like an
Turn him big.
afterthought.
Turn the face and
Yeah, if they could do things right, maybe he does something big at Royal Rumble. I don't know, but yeah, I would say Bobby Roode, and hopefully they continue with the Finn Balor.
I would like to say Ty Dillinger too. I don't know. This guy was red hot. I don't know why. You would think that WWE be like, okay, this guy's red hot. Let's find something for him. He should be the priority, right? Fucking.
Nah, yeah,
But they can't find none for him, but they could find things for Jinder Mahal. It
doesn't make sense.
You know, it makes no sense.
Yeah, but I got Bobby Roode. Definitely, I hope they continue with this Balor Club thing, and I hope they make it bigger. I hope they just don't, like make it a faction.
But WWE needs factions.
Yeah, they need factions. Because that's the best way to
You
include.
already got like 2 new factions. Bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's the best way to include people
Look at
without
NXT,
putting them in the mix.
Well,
Like,
you got Absolution and what, Riot Squad?
Yeah, but that's
oh, that's on the female tip.
but it's still legit. Like you got Sanity and what is it?
Like
On
new,
the- on
like
the
I think
Speeder
New Day.
era.
I think New Day could use a new person. Like,
Wyatt,
They've been there for too long to. I think it's I don't know. It would be too jarring.
I'm surprised.
I think
That's true too.
because they've been New Day for so long.
That's true. But yeah, like you have the Wyatt family should have grew. But anyways, but yeah, so like the Balor Club, I hope that they continue with that, and I hope that AJ Styles continues as the champion throughout the year or throughout a better part of the year. Maybe because like I said, maybe we'll see a Shinsuke, AJ Styles feud, which would be huge. I mean, when they stared at each other that one time, I forgot when that
TLC, I
was.
think.
It was TLC. That stare caught more of a pop than most of their other, big main event, big main
WWE
events.
goes. They're gonna put him in a pay-per-view, have a shitty match, and be like, all right, you could have a good match on SmackDown.
You
Yep.
know what's the
And-
biggest faction they have?
What?
Titus Worldwide.
Anyways, and New Japan, Ziggler. Nah, that's. I hope that happens, but that's kind of like that's up in the air. We don't know, but I think it will happen. But yeah, I would have to say I think Trent Beretta. Maybe he doesn't win much, like a big title or anything, but I think he's gonna have a great G1 run in the G1 climax. I think Juice Robinson might end up winning the U.S. title somewhere down the line, maybe, or maybe Intercontinental, because yeah, we were speaking about who could really beat who would beat Tanahashi, and I think Juice could.
Why not Minoru Suzuki?
I mean, hey.
Isn't he next up? Yeah, I don't think Tanahashi's could last. He needs some time.
Yeah.
He needs some time off, man.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're not saying anything bad about him. It was kind of like with Jericho, like in WWE. Like, dude, he doesn't have to be there. Just like, dude, and look at what happened. He left, and now he's gonna be on a card. He had a card with with Omega. Now he's going after Naito.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Like, we were all hyped for Okada. I mean, damn it, Omega and Jericho. But this, I'm the most intrigued about because what are we gonna get from this? I'm sure it's gonna be awesome. I'm just saying, like, this is so out of left field in a good way. But yeah, so I would say Juice, Trent Beretta, and I think Flip, even though he's not New Japan, I think Flip Gordon might have a solid year this year. I mean, I don't know much of his, like, how long he's been around for. I know he's not a newbie, but I don't know. I just, like, he's been popping up a lot more.
He joined ROH last year.
Oh, so okay.
That's why he was always getting the harmful ribs done.
Oh, and actually, Hangman Page.
Nah, I don't see not on the New Japan side.
No. I mean, just
On
in,
the
like,
ROH
the indies,
side,
yeah.
yeah.
Because that match with him and Joey Ryan needs to happen on the big stage. I was actually mad that wasn't, like, even if it was a pre-show match in Wrestle Kingdom, like the Battle of the Dons. Like, dude, that angle was so fucking hilarious, dude. Like, I remember when anytime they're watching Joey Ryan's highlights and then Hangman is in the back getting pissed off, like he's getting jealous and shit. But anyways, yes, I guess that's that. I think Cody might have a big year this year. I mean,
now that
bigger
he
than-
dropped the belt, yeah. I mean, what's to say that he wins that U.S. belt and defended in ROH and defended in Japan?
Yeah, I think that'll be perfect too, because New Japan is not afraid to let their, champions go run amok elsewhere. I mean, that U.S. belt is pretty much, obviously they gave it to Omega to just to have, so he can have a big belt. They could build a new prestigious belt because he is such a big person. But also, it's like planting their seed somewhere else. Obviously, by the name, the U.S. title, but planting their seed through that champion, which is cool. Because yeah, they're called the U.S. champion, and you want to see that belt defended on U.S. soil. So you send them to ROH to have bouts with their big guys. You even have a champion versus champion match. Like, that'd be cool. So Cody, and they are building towards that Omega Cody feud that started last year, and dude, they're like, the indie scene build is so amazing, especially New Japan. Like, they don't.
Now, New Japan is notorious for long-term booking.
And dude, it pays the fuck off. I mean, we go back to Naito.
Mm-hmm.
And even when we were talking about Okada and this slow build to him being probably the greatest ever, and it's natural. It's not like, damn, we got Cena as champion again. Oh yeah, they're gonna, no, dude, it's great to see him. Even if you want the other person to win, even if you wanted Kenny to win, even if you wanted Naito to win, which I thought Naito was gonna win, and it was a little like, damn, when he lost, but like, you respect it. It's like watching that one team that you can't stand to see win, but you respect it. So yeah. Anyways, but so like, their build with this Bullet Club like implosion is great, because it started last year. They sort of went away from it, like, everybody's all buddy cool, and then now, like, you hint at it, but then you throw Kenny in a feud with Jay White. Cool, put Jay White over, even though Kenny would probably win, but and then you just, like, maybe you do something with that to build into that Bullet Club angle, or you just bring in Ziggler. The possibilities are endless. So, all right, so let's do the top matches. Do we all have 10, or?
I got 10, but I gotta look at the list because I might get lost somewhere. There's like so many.
Okay, Chris, you wanna pop it off?
Number 10 is freaking Yano versus Sonata and Yano versus Omega in the G1.
Okay.
Imagine they weren't that great, like, wrestling type match, but they were entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Whenever Yano's in the ring, usually it's not meant to be. Though I'm pretty sure he can wrestle.
Because
But
Kenny's a clown too. And
Yeah.
And then just the freaking Sonata, just like not even breaking a freaking smile or anything, and when you just take this dude to that had the best ending ever.
that's actually one of the things I'm disappointed that didn't happen in at least one of the previous New Japan events. Yeah, because like it seemed like they built to it, because they had that little thing. But then again, maybe it's a slow build. Because it's two polar opposites. Like, Yano's just like full on retard, and Sonata's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, kind of shit. Like, it's like, enough with this shit. Ties him to the fucking ring, to the ropes.
It's like Deathstroke and Deadpool. One's a clown, one's serious.
That's a good analogy. All right, so what's your next pick?
Styles and Balor at TLC.
Okay.
Because that was like one of the, we never expected that match to happen,
Mm-hmm.
especially that quick, and then that, it was a great match, and then the Too Sweet at the end of it.
Okay, keep going.
Number 8 is Cody versus Okada at the G1 Special USA.
Okay.
Number 7 is Aleister Black versus Nick's favorite wrestler ever,
Yeah.
Velveteen Dream.
Yep.
Good one.
He still doesn't want to say his name.
That's another solid slow build.
That was what, Takeover War Game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then number 6 is Marty versus Osprey at Power Struggle. I would have had other Osprey matches. That's like the only one. But we did see the Kushida one, the second time. But from what I heard, it wasn't as good as the Dusty Super Junior.
Yeah.
Five is both matches of Ibushi versus Tanahashi.
Okay.
G1 in the power struggle, especially that G1 where Tanahashi kicked out at like 2.99 seconds, like barely even inches off the mat after the three.
Mhm.
The Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate at NXT Takeover Chicago.
Mhm.
Omega versus Naito at the G1 finals. Okada versus Shibata, Sakura Genesis.
Mhm.
And number one is the entire trilogy of Omega versus Okada.
Okay.
Because it would have been easy just to put all three matches on each of their own.
Yeah.
Put them as the top three matches of the year. But
Yeah, and especially when you have a trilogy, it makes sense because like you look at like what was it, Ricky Steamboat? Who was it? Ric Flair was it? That was that one of the big trilogies in who was it? Ricky Steamboat or who? That they always talk. Yeah, it was Ricky Steamboat or Ric Flair, I think.
Probably.
Yeah, one of the big trilogies in wrestling history. So yeah, they usually include
and
that.
especially that this match, all three of those these ones were all in the same year. I don't know if the Flair and Steamboat ones were the same.
Nah,
year.
I think that was like. Okay, so now your turn next.
Alright. Number 10. I'm gonna throw a curveball here. PWG,
Okay.
Keith Lee, and Donovan Dijak.
Okay, I didn't see that.
That was a very fun match.
Okay, we gotta watch that.
Full of showmanship.
Two guys doing
It was a very fun match.
Mhm.
Number 9, I'll go with AJ Styles, Finn Balor. All right. Number 8, I'll go with Asuka and Ember Moon.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 8, I'll go with that. Number 7, Okada and Cody.
Okay.
Number 6, Kushida, Ospreay, and Super Juniors.
Okay.
Number 5, let's see. I think I'm going too fast here. Number 5, I got the Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate.
Okay.
Number 4, Velveteen Dream, and this dude, Aleister Black. Number 3, I'm gonna go with, let's say, Tanahashi and Naito.
Okay.
In G1.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Tanahashi, Naito, and number 2, Naito and Kenny Omega.
Damn right. Yeah, that was.
And number 1 is that trilogy.
Okay.
I know I forgot a Shibata and somewhere, but I think that Ember Moon and Asuka is like, because
That was the one that Asuka won, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's the one at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah. Okay. Ember Moon only won when
She never.
Yeah.
She never won.
She hasn't won. She never beat Asuka, but she won the belt after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's I think that was WrestleMania week when Asuka. That just shows that like, yo, you got women out here that put up damn good match. And in the main roster, you'll never show that.
Dude, this is about 2 times already that they've had match of the year candidates in the NXT women's division.
I mean, Sasha and Bailey, I mean, I give them they're good and everything, but Ember Moon and Asuka, they're in a whole nother class.
No, that is true. Yeah.
And they just proved that you put them in the ring, they can go.
They could probably go with the dudes too. That's how good they are.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? That's something I would honestly like to see more of. I know there's this big thing, but at the same time, I mean, it's like if a lady like Asuka. First of all, wrestling is not really people beating the shit out of each other. This isn't boxing. This isn't MMA. This isn't a street fight. It's about, you know, giving and taking. So like, you know, you sell, you make the other people look good. It's like a dance. So if you have competitors like Charlotte Flair, I think she can compete with dudes. Asuka, Ember Moon, you know, obviously China did it before. Not maybe, I don't know how good of a worker Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka are, how good workers they are, but they're big enough to go in ring with, you know, people. And I'm not saying just throw them in there because, but you know, if there's like reason to do it, like even if it's just like a intergender tag team match, I mean, it would be cool because it also shows the power of the female.
I mean, and look at who's your champion in the fucking WWE, the women's champion, Alexa Bliss. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I just cannot see Alexa Bliss going over on people like Charlotte, Ember Moon, Asuka. I cannot. I'm not going to sit there and believe anybody selling to her.
Yeah, and it's crazy. You have wrestlers like Becky Lynch, Natalia.
Yeah.
Which they disrespected her. Oh no, she's not the champion anymore, right?
No.
Okay. You have even Sasha Banks, even Bayley. Bayley had her issues the last couple years, you know, especially on the mic, whatever. But as a wrestler, we've seen what she can do. So like, yeah, but you have and Alexa Bliss, she's great on the mic, but you know, she hasn't really put on any good matches, and maybe that's not her fault.
Her match with Sasha Banks and the one with Mickey James was at least.
I didn't really. I tune out, and it's sad.
Alexa Bliss, I mean, she's probably adorable and all, but as a wrestler,
she would be a great manager. A great manager.
I mean, I mean.
She could be a hell of a lot worse. She could be.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Yeah, of course she could be a lot worse though, but
it's the way they book her that's the problem. Like,
maybe,
yeah, she may not be the best wrestler, but you can put her if you did it right, she would get better. You would see it, but they're not.
My thing is, I think she still needs.
Yeah, she still needs, you know, that.
She still needs some like, you know, some seasoning.
Some seasoning, yeah. It's the mic skills that really have her where she's at.
Yeah. She's good at that.
Yeah, and like I said, she should be somebody's manager. Yeah. So no, but it's crazy that you have two female matches in the top. But all right, so yeah, my top 10 is number 10 is Takahashi and Bushi versus Titan Lee. Now that match happened in the tag team tournament they had at the end of the year. That was a regular tag team. That was the Super Junior tag team at the end of the year. Yeah.
I never seen.
Oh yeah.
Never seen that.
They did that weird. They did it like. It was almost like an afterthought, and that's a poor word for me to use, but it didn't seem to have that. I guess because I was so high off the way they formatted the G1, and I thought it would be similar to that, but it was almost like how WWE does their tournaments. Oh, let's just throw this into the mix with something else, and so but yeah, that match, dude. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, too, what was it? Bushi and. It was either Titan or Lee had the history together. Like, they were partners at one point or something like that. They go back to, like, Mexico. I think they were partners in Mexico. But that match, if you ever get a chance to watch it, dude, it's definitely a spot fest. But the shit they do, like, it's crazy. They do that, like, a suicide... What's...
You're talking about Takahashi and Bushi?
Yeah.
They were
What's the move? I know. What's the move where they just jump straight up through the ropes, out the ring? It's like they head first. Suicide dive. Suicide dive. Okay. Where they go through the bottom rope, not the top. Oh damn! Is that really happening? Oh, that's a joke. Okay, that's funny. But yeah. So, anyways, it was a dope tag team match. I mean, and this just goes to show you put anybody in Japan, guys you don't even really know, and they make it work. They entertain you with their wrestling. You know. But that was a solid tag match. Number 9. Goes to, Evil's matches versus Omega and Okada in the G1 Climax. I mean, dude, those matches, like, Evil was that guy where, like, you see potential in him. And, I mean, he beat the 2 prime stars in New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And he beat them. Dude, and he kind of fucked up Okada. Dude, like, he beat the shit out of Okada. And this is your guy. And I guess that's the one time you could get away with, you know, having your top dude lose or whatever, because it doesn't mean anything, but it also doesn't it doesn't like disrespect anybody, doesn't make anybody look lesser or whatever. But it was those two matches were solid. Um, Evil really like he's one of those guys that like he's on the radar this year. He could have easily been in the top 10 too. 'Cause he was awesome. As quiet as he is, he gets it done in the ring. And he's not even a big dude too. He's
Yeah.
relatively short. He's got that like rhino body. But so number 8 is Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate in NXT Chicago. NXT Takeover Chicago. I mean, this was the post cruiserweight match. This is like after the tournament. Like I think Tyler Bate had already won the tournament.
You mean the UK tour?
The UK tournament, yeah. And like okay, I make mistakes. Anyways, solid match. Just something you don't see in the WWE. That UK technical wrestling and dude, it was entertaining. And people like Vince wants to believe that people in the WWE want to believe that fans don't care about technical wrestling. But I mean, dude, it's impressive, man, to see these guys tango. It was awesome, and I mean, dude, fans are chanting UK, solid match. My number 7 is Marty Scurll versus Will Ospreay in a loaded event. I think that was What Culture. And that was the match I spoke about in the last list where I was telling you why Ospreay is on this list. I mean, you take a high flyer, put him against a grounded dude, and it's like mixing oil with water, but it was solid, man. I mean, just the way they countered each other, and just the way Will Ospreay had to ground his game to keep up with Marty, and Marty had to ground Ospreay to keep up with Ospreay. It was just beautiful. It was like WWE thinks that you have to put together stupid promos and do all this retarded shit just to entertain fans and tell a story, when they leave out the point of what WWE's foundation is built on, what it was built on. You can have your entertainment, but this is a wrestling company. This is not a movie production company. This is not Michael Bay's Dune, whatever the fuck his studios is. This is wrestling, and people are watching wrestling, whether they're new fans or old fans, to see people beat the shit out of each other. I mean, as blunt as I could be. Number 6 was the Yano Toru versus Sonata, Omega, Colt Cabana. Those are all separate matches. The Sonata and Omega matches happened in the G1 Climax. Chris spoke about that before. Just the fact that it was a nice break from the grueling, tough, gladiator performances of the G1. And I mean, you got a guy like Kenny Omega, dude. The guy needs to chill. I mean, every match that Yano had. I mean, he had one with Okada. So like all those matches, it's sort of like you have to just. It kind of gave them a break. But yeah, Yano, dude, he the entertainment factor is there. I mean, this is another thing too. You don't understand what he's saying, and it's just entertaining as shit. I mean, first of all, the Sonata match, it was the way he lost. Sonata put him in the Paradise Lock, taped him up in the Paradise Lock, on the ramp, just walked in. Yano got counted out. The Omega match started out with Yano trying to give Kenny his DVD, and Kenny didn't want it, and then he's like, "Present, please open." And he even gave it to Red Shoes to give it to him, and it was just fun entertainment. And then another favorite part of that match was that Red Shoes high spot, where Kenny and Yano kept pulling each other's hair, and this dude was trying to break that up, so he went to the second rope and first rope, and and then Colt Cabana, I thought that match was brilliant. It was entertaining as fuck. I mean, WWE's best entertaining segments could not top this. I mean, so Yano did the whole DVD thing again. Then Colt Cabana brought his DVD, and they traded DVDs, and both of them pretended to... No, Yano's threw Colt Cabana's DVD, and then he was like, oh, it was a joke. And then Colt Cabana threw Yano's DVD, so Yano went out the ring to get his DVD from a fan, and he actually sold it for $40 to a fan. Like, this is real shit. This wasn't a work, and that was fucking brilliant. yeah, dude, just like Yano is he's a nice little break from the intense wrestling that we get in New Japan. And I'm not saying he can't wrestle, because I'm pretty sure he's there for a reason. But it is cool to see him. He's another dude too. I want to see him have a match with somebody where he actually wrestles, like where he surprises everybody. You know. Number 5 is Cody versus Okada in the G1 special. I mean, this was my first, seeing Cody for the first time wrestle in a singles match. I mean, you're putting him against a big guy, and then this was coming off with that Dominion thing where he came out to sort of throw in the white towel for Kenny against in his match against Okada, and then Kenny came out, and this is where you started sort of slowly cementing the Bullet Club, implosion. And Kenny went toe to toe with Okada, and he did he give Okada the Rainmaker?
Kenny?
Did Cody give Okada the Rainmaker?
Yeah,
he did.
Cody, yeah.
And Okada gave him the Crossroads, yeah. And then the shit that got me, and I almost lost my shit, is when Cody went to put Okada in the One Wing Angel. Dude, if he would have landed that shit, that.
Especially because Kenny was ringside too.
Yeah, and he wiped the towel and threw it in his face. Like, it was just brilliant, and the storytelling was awesome, and it was a nice way to introduce New Japan to the U.S. Market, so to speak. I mean, for the people who hasn't really seen it, and it made everybody look good. It was an awesome match. My number 4 was Kota Ibushi versus Tanahashi in the G1 Climax. This is probably one of the matches in the G1 Climax that I was waiting for once the cards were announced. And I mean, I never really watched New Japan prior to this year, but Ibushi was one guy that I knew of because X and Drew, they would show me videos of him wrestling the Hulk Hogan blow-up doll, and since then, not knowing as much as I do now about Japan, even back then, Kota Ibushi was always that guy. I mean, dude, you could wrestle fucking 30 minutes with a blow-up doll. Dude, I mean, come on, you gotta be on people's radar. And Tanahashi, I mean, before going into that, I saw how big of a deal he was, and also his hair. I mean, but anyways, yeah, it was a solid match, dude, and that was one of the few times that Kota actually got over on Tanahashi, which is a big deal because that's been like a struggle there, but it was solid, and when he landed that German suplex from the apron, like, that was crazy. The deadlift German suplex. I mean, that right there, that's power. And then like Kota was putting on great shows. I mean, his match with Bad Luck Fale was awesome, but that stood out to me. Number 3 is Omega and Naito in the G1 Finals. That could have easily been number 1, dude. That was one of the most grueling matches I've seen. I mean, they both almost died. I don't know how Naito's neck is intact. I really don't know. Like, if you guys haven't seen that match, just look up Kenny versus Naito, Omega versus Naito G1 Finals. You more than likely find like a highlight video with like a rock song playing. That's all you need to watch, dude. That right there. I mean, the botched spots and shit, dude. Like, it's crazy. I mean, this dude Naito's face almost went into the pole, the corner pole, like the ring post, like that. Dude, that's just crazy and scary. But and even outside of that, I mean, they both put on, they both wrestled their asses off. Now my number 2, I know you guys had it on your list, but it was a lot like higher up, lower in the list. But me, it's AJ Styles versus Finn Balor, and not saying that it's better than most of these matches on the list. I mean, it was a solid match though, but just the fact that when do we get a treat like this from the WWE?
Once every 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, this is shades of like, I mean, some of the greater matches you have you've had in the WWE, and that wasn't. Oh yeah, it was TLC. That wasn't even SummerSlam. It wasn't even WrestleMania. Now imagine 2 guys like that, or Shinsuke and AJ Styles going at it at WrestleMania. Like, dude, that, and it's almost like Vince was probably rolling over in his chair, just like, fuck, man, like, I don't want it to be like this popular, because I mean, every moment it was exciting. Even if they weren't doing anything, just them staring each other down, and dude, they went hard.
Vince doesn't have a clue. He's not fit to run that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure with that match, because we all know that that match only happened because Bray Wyatt got sick, and I'm pretty sure Vince was like Triple H, Hunter, pick whatever. It's just like one of those things. Like he didn't think whatever, and then it kind of backfired on him. And who knows? Maybe we see more clashes with them in the future. I mean, especially if they have that whole sort of club thing going, because AJ Styles was teaming up with Gallows and Anderson at one point, and now Finn's teaming up with them. So who knows? Maybe they all join forces. But anyways, it was the reason why it's so high up is because it was an awesome match. It may not have been a 5-star match, but I mean, I guess in WWE standards, especially now, might as well have been a 5-star match. But like I said, you don't see a match that actually respected the fan base like that. And it just goes to show you that you can book WWE however the hell you think however you want to, Vince, but it's like at some point you have to just look at the history, look at where these guys came from, and that's what makes a dream match. Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, dream match. Not Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. What was the dream match? John Cena versus Jinder Mahal, something like that, or Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal. Like that's the dream match. Like fuck out of here. And any Brock Lesnar match. And it's funny too, that dude that we were watching, I forget his name, that podcast you told me about.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny because he had said that what the fuck was I trying to say? Wow, I lost my fucking train of thought. Wow, I'm trying to think of his name.
JD from New York.
Yeah. Wow, I lost my train of thought. I feel like a fucking retard right now.
He was trying to say something about this dude, fucking Jinder Mahal and Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah. Okay, that in the Wrestle Kingdom, what's his name? Don Callis and Kevin Kelly. He and this is true. I never really noticed this.
Oh yeah, when
they never say
this is the best show ever.
Yeah, this is the greatest match ever. Like, I mean, at the end they'll say, "Oh, what a hell of a match! What an amazing match!" After the match, like, and not boasting that it's the best thing ever, but just
trying to plant that in your brain, saying like, "Hey, this is the best show." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, they're just like stating the fact that it was a back and forth. They both pushed each other, but WWE fucking. I mean, we get that shitty ass Survivor Series match. Not the Survivor Series match. Was it Great Balls of Fire? One of the ones before it, and like messy as shit. Oh, it was the greatest match ever. Like, whatever. But yeah, so they don't do that, and that's beautiful. My number one would have to be, and I finally got around to seeing the first match, and it's gonna have to be the Okada and Omega trilogy. I mean, every match in their own right, number one. I personally thought the best one was the Dominion match, mainly because nobody won, and you don't really see that. Guys go 60 minutes, and nobody's able to pull out the victory, and just the way they both sold everything. Like, one of the most memorable moments will always be when Kenny collapsed when Okada went to give him the Rainmaker. Like, that was brilliant. I mean, that's how you show. I mean, it was just, it's crazy. I mean, you don't expect to see that in the WWE because they wrestle all the time. But I mean, if you could do that in 30 minutes, shit, So every match was spot on. I mean, even the G1 climax match, even though you kind of know the outcome, but it was solid. I mean, when those two guys are in the ring, it is probably the best performance in wrestling ever. And I don't think their story is done. They at least have one more. Where
I think that would end it.
Yeah, that's it. That one more, and what's funny though, we all think that Kenny will probably get that win.
Nah,
what if he can't beat Okada?
Then that's it. That's it.
But you know what you could do? You can do that where
I'm the only
Kenny.
one who thinks Kenny's
No, I think he could and should win, but at the same time, what if he can't beat Okada? And then you do something where you couldn't beat Okada now, and 10 years down the road, right? You do a Jericho and thing where now he could beat him.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, if Kenny don't beat him now, I mean, I would not. I mean, it would be a good story for Kenny.
Yeah.
But I think, like I said, I think it's a better story for Okada to just rock with that belt.
Yeah.
Because Kenny needs to lose that one more time just to end that story real quick. So so Okada could go into bigger and better things, but Okada he ain't losing the belt to nobody other than Naito or Kenny anyway.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, and dude, Chris, we're not saying that Kenny's not gonna win it and don't deserve it, because dude, if anybody deserves it, I mean, come on, the guy went 60. He went a total of what? So the G1 was
over 2 hours.
yeah, exactly, over 2 hours with this guy. I mean, come on, they have in 3 matches they have better matches than some people have had in 10 in the WWE. So it's like, yeah, but it's interesting to see where they go with that, but. Yeah, it's been a hell of a year, and there's plenty of matches we left out. I mean, that entire G1 climax.
You want to hear my most disappointing?
Oh, tell me.
Or wrestlers?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Let's drop a couple of disappointing wrestlers.
This is not their fault at all.
No, yeah.
This is not. I'm going with Adrian Neville
Oh, yeah.
and Hideo Itami, Kenta.
Oh, dude, that.
I mean, when he was the first of many signings. Right, then he got injured, but I ain't mad at that because injuries happen. But yeah, he was like the first, and when I heard that they first signed him,
Oh yeah, dude, I remember you were hyped, and I know of him too.
I wasn't. I was more concerned than hype.
Okay.
I was more concerned than hype because we know how WWE does, and look at my concern. Look at this right now. I mean, he really didn't do anything stand out.
Nothing. He had a solid match with Aleister Black, but
yeah.
that ended like, and that's why I was telling you how like the last 5 minutes of WWE matches are way different than New Japan. Like
Yeah.
it just ends.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
and he's going to the the 205 live. That's just kiss of death.
which is a mess. Yeah.
That's a kiss of death. I mean, come on. I watched Japan. This guy is beating guys bigger than him.
Dude.
And just like running through everybody, and now he's going to have a problem with some cruiserweights.
Austin Aries quit. Neville quit.
Adrian Neville got no business there to begin with.
Oh, you know what? We didn't even bring up that match.
Cool.
Neville and Aries.
Oh yeah, that's
Dude, that right there was, and they were disrespected as a pre-card show when they're champions.
and Adrian Neville, another one. He's big, too big for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. No. Who's going to him losing to Enzo? Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, that's what the Intercontinental Championship is for, or the U.S. title, like, or Tag Team Championship. You know, like, why? You know, there's some people that are not going to be world champions, and that makes sense because we talk about New Japan and how they, we only think of a handful of people that makes sense for Okada to lose to.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just going to have Rocky Romero win the belt or Marty Scurll win the heavyweight belt. I mean, as much as awesome as Marty Scurll is, his place is the junior heavyweights.
Yeah.
Maybe that changes, probably not, and that's okay because you don't have to be the world champion to be the best. I mean, Naito is not the world champion now, but he's the number 1 in my list for this year.
I think he's the most over guy in New Japan.
Yeah, even more than Okada. And as much as everybody loves Okada, watch a match. And it's not discrediting either or, but so you have anybody else on that list, or
my most disappointing.
It could be big, but
I mean, there's a lot of, but Hideo is the one that really cut me deep because he was one of the reasons why I'm watching Japan wrestling.
I always I never watched a match of his in Japan, but I knew his name very, very vividly because of you.
Yeah, I mean, wait, what started what? I mean, I've heard of him, and I saw that one match. I was like, oh, this guy is pretty. Yeah, and I saw some match with him and Samoa Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went to Noah, and I watched a little bit of Noah, him and Kota Ibushi, and I was like, yo, this guy's the man. this guy, and then because of course we at that time there's no accessibility to Noah and whatever other than going on Justin TV or whatever. So then I hearing that the WWE signed Kenta, he's gonna be hit. I'm like, oh no. I was just watching a shitload of Kenta matches for like tribute and whatever because I just can't see can't see Kenta go out like that.
Yeah. The only thing that sucks though is that in his NXT run he was injury prone, which is not anybody's fault. And I feel like maybe they would have ran with him at least in NXT, because dude, Shinsuke was a champion for a while,
Yeah.
but yeah, now it's just like
I could never get to see a match with him and Shinsuke. Oh my god. I would love to see that. I would love to see that, man. But yeah, you know, I mean, ever since when he's the GTS, yes, he's the OG of the GTS. I'm a
Yeah.
fucking CM Punk.
a
Get
lot
outta
of
here.
dude. I love the fuck out of CM Punk, but I do understand that that wasn't his move. I mean, that was a homage to, you know.
Even said in the
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, there
Some-
you have
some-
idiots
some,
out there.
Some Mark were trying to argue me like, all right, but CM Punk popularized the move. I'm like, no.
But that's
No.
that's unfair to say, because you look at the difference in popularity of WWE and
Yeah.
Japan, at least back then too, because Japan wasn't as big as it is now, like Japanese wrestling, because of the apps and all this, you know, the Bullet Club and all that. But yeah, so that's kind of unfair to say. But you can't say that he, in the wrestling world, you can't say that he popularized it, because dude, as awesome as CM Punk was, and he's still, I think, one of the WWE's greatest, but especially for a guy who hasn't, like, he didn't grow up wanting to be a wrestler. He started that shit when he was like fucking 18 or some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And he picked up quick. But anyways, Kenta, that was his move.
Yeah, I mean, Kenta signed that kind of disappoints me. I'm almost like, yo, just leave. Just leave. Go to NJPW or something. Just leave, man.
Yeah, I mean, New Japan would take him.
His contract is up, but I don't know if Noah's still around.
That's a good question.
Because you know, Japanese wrestlers, they're usually loyal to their thing, but
Yeah.
he wrestled in NJPW on like a
But
partnership
I think,
thing.
Yeah, don't I think Noah and New Japan have a partnership, or like they're
It was All Japan, but I think All Japan
All
is
Japan
defunct.
and Noah, yeah, and All Japan is done,
Yeah,
or at least it's not. You know, it might be around, but in this tiny thing. But yeah, it's Noah and All Japan. That was because Jericho wrestled in both.
Mhm.
But yeah, that would be cool to see him in New Japan. What about you, Chris? Any disappointments? And again, this doesn't have to mean that they're bad. Like, we're not talking about Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal, because we already know those situations. But guys that had a shitty year, but it wasn't really their fault.
Balor, Bray
Yeah.
Wyatt,
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, everyone after that.
yeah. Balor is another disappointing one.
Yeah, dude, it's so fucked up that but obviously you saw the Styles and Balor match. He brings up the fact that he's gonna go after the Universal title again, and then you put him in a random feud with Goldust, and then a random feud with Kane. Pretty much the same exact story that you were running in that you were gonna run with Bray Wyatt, where he couldn't beat Bray Wyatt as a normal person, so he had to beat him as a demon. So you couldn't beat Kane as normal Finn Balor, so you're gonna have to beat him as a demon. Thankfully they squashed that, but they also squashed that and squashed Balor. But there's a possibility. I mean, I don't know. AJ Styles is the champion now, unless Vince only likes him because he's a redneck. that I don't know, but yeah. I mean that could be a sign of this year. Might be obviously on a smaller scale, because you know they're not gonna get the main event. But I'm completely happy with guys not necessarily main eventing something, but being respected. So I mean,
It's like, what do I begin with? Freaking Gallows and Anderson.
Gallows and Anderson haven't really been anything relevant since they first came. So that's kind of like,
They were champs. And then
that's what I'm saying. When they first came to the WWE, it was like, oh shit, they're here, the club, this and that. But then they kind of like died off with that gimmick. Yeah, it definitely has to be Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor. Those are the top two. Oh, Dolph Ziggler has been has had a disappointing career since his last month run as the champion. It's fucking disrespectful. You take it away from him because he has a concussion, but other people can have like whatever, man. You don't have to defend the title. Dude, CM Punk was hurt, and he didn't defend the belt for like 3 months or 2 months. No, it was just 1 month. It was TLC. But still, like, I mean, you shouldn't take it away from them unless it's like something like, well, actually not even, well, Asuka,
No, they did that to quiet down the marks out there who's
yeah.
calling for Ziggler. Just
Yeah.
to say, hey, we gave him the belt. Okay, leave us alone.
Just like Zack Ryder won the IC belt after that, you know, that whole cancer story, and then they take it away from him.
Career, he had the cancer thing.
No, but still, they were bringing it up. They were bringing it up because it was a thing, and I guess it was close to Cancer Awareness Month or something of that nature. But anyways,
Bobby Roode and Shinsuke after they came out to the main roster.
well, Bobby Roode, the only thing about it is it's early for him, and I still think they should have waited to the Rumble. Like they should have kept it a secret, and all you hear is the piano hit on number whatever, and then, you know. But he was a big deal, so they kind of wanted to bring him up there. But I think he should have stood down a little bit longer. But yeah, it has to be Balor and Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt, dude, yeah, his gimmick is getting tired, but that's because like, it's not his fault, dude. Let him run that gimmick in Japan.
You keep thinking about Nakamura. The man lost to a botch finisher in their second biggest pay-per-view.
You know what's the sad thing? I was not surprised about that. I knew once Shinsuke came up, he was doomed because because he's foreign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Redo that shit.
No, I know, but
Change that
I
shit
was
on the go
I was
when
not-
he botched the finisher.
I was not surprised at all because, like I said, he's a foreigner.
No, I wasn't surprised that he lost, but the fact that he lost to a botch
Yeah.
finisher. How you botch your own damn move, the setup of it.
Well, that's why he's not the champion anymore, because he's a bum. No offense,
He
Jinder.
should've
I mean,
never been champion.
no,
Jinder will light you up. Son.
Should've
yeah,
always
word. He
been
probably
up.
would, with his titties on titties.
Oh,
Just
shit.
magically
But
thrown
anyways, yeah.
into
So
the-
it has to be Bray and Finn. I mean, those two guys could have had an amazing feud, but you want to like play that dumb shit, man. Like, honestly, like, Bray Wyatt is probably one of the best on the microphone. He still is, despite that his gimmick is getting old and annoying because they do it every fucking day. I mean, his mic skills are like impeccable. I mean, that's what made people love him. He came out of nowhere with this weird bugged out shit, and like I said, put him in New Japan or ROH. Like, with that same gimmick, it would be a whole different, like, night and day. But let me see, anybody else disappointed? No, that's really it. I mean, like I said, Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal, we didn't want to see them win. We don't like to see them in the spotlight, but I mean, whatever. That is what it is. But yeah, I hope that Balor thing, the club actually is a thing, and they don't. Because remember, they did it with AJ Styles and these two guys, and then what happened?
No, but
It just became forgotten.
I mean, they did promote that shit over social media too, so maybe that is.
They could listen. Vince could be trolling us, man, because Vince likes to take people's heart out and rip people's hearts out when things are at like its best. I mean,
I don't even watch the WWE, whatever. I just tune out and whatever I get, I just read from the results or whatever.
yeah.
And if I hear it's a good match, I'll try to find it. If I don't, I just don't care.
I usually the only time I
I
really
can't
care
watch
is during
that.
a pay-per-view, and even then I don't care. It's just like it's almost like obligatory. Like, we gotta watch it. I mean, it's I can't watch like stuff on national TV because of that commercial shit they do in the middle of the match. Like, that right there alone makes me not. I mean, and it's like, all right, they do that same shit where it's like a stare down between the two for like 10 weeks, and it's all the same pop up.
They
Pop.
keep
Yeah,
doing
and-
the same damn fucking
yeah.
matches.
Yeah, exactly.
Or,
Like,
rotating the thing.
yeah.
The more I watch the Japan or ROH, I can't stomach WWE.
Yeah, like, you know what's crazy? Because going back to New Japan, you have okay, they have their event their pay-per-views tomorrow. So like the day before, they have their pre-event. So like Road to whatever, and they have these tag matches, the 6-man tag matches or whatever, 4-man tag matches, faction versus faction. They don't announce it. They don't make it like, oh, we're gonna fight you at Road to Dominion. They book it, they do it.
I just don't get why WWE don't. I mean, you want to put everybody on the show. Okay, I get it, but those who shouldn't be there should be at the pre-show, and your big-time stories should be at the main show. None of this fucking, this tag, this pre-show fucking cruiserweight belt. Meanwhile, you have a useless tag match in the fucking. Get out of here.
Exactly. Like, yeah, if you want to showcase your your wrestlers, like the New Japan Wrestle Kingdom, their Royal Rumble was a pre-show. They had a bunch of guys who you're not gonna see on the show. You know, like, so Chase Owens was in there. You know, let them do their thing, let them have fun. You know, Kitamaro was there. The Tan Man, he was there. You know, you had Yushin Thunder Liger, you had Tiger Mask, you had some of the people from LIJ, Suzuki Gun. You had yeah, so it's like you had the Tokyo Pimp. That's a way to showcase, and then they have those tag matches. Like, why can't you do that? You don't have to go into Monday saying, "Hey, oh, you know, somebody walks out, does a promo, and then like 10 other people come out, and then all of a sudden now you have a feud." Dude, just say tonight on Raw we've got such and such and such, and then in that match you can sort of hint at what's to come. But they you know, it's always got to be a spectacle, and I get it. I mean, hey, they're successful in their own right, but at the same time, like, people don't like wrestling. All that wrestling is fake bullshit because of this. Doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, I mean, in my eyes, WWE's not the big leagues. I mean,
No, it's not.
It's everybody could say WrestleMania. I don't give a fuck what anybody want to argue with me. It's not special anymore.
No.
It's just another Raw to me.
Yeah.
It just got pyro in this pay per view. That's it. It's WrestleMania is not special. Royal Rumble's not. None of this shit is special.
I think the only thing, there's only two. Excuse me. The only way WrestleMania I think would be special is if you're actually going. Like, if you're actually there.
Yeah.
That's like the only.
That's it. I mean, if you're not going to be there, then who the fuck cares?
And it's sad because you could probably have just the same amount of fun going to a live Raw event.
I understand you want to do your sports entertainment thing, but WrestleMania at least have quality matches.
Yeah, let people go 30 minutes. The event is as long. Look, nobody. I mean, all right, people are gonna complain. I've heard people complain about New Japan being long. I heard people complain about
New Japan does not feel like a long show to me.
That's the thing. Yeah. So when I hear people complain about New Japan being long, I'm like, it doesn't feel long. Like, if you're really enjoying it, then I mean, you must not really be a fan. Then if you're not enjoying
I
it.
stayed up all night watching Wrestle Kingdom. Did even you know?
Total disregard for his life, his body, his responsibilities.
Didn't even like, wasn't even ready to fall asleep. I was like, then I finished.
His mom in the background yelling, "Think of your family, think of your fans."
You know, and still knowing that that's going to be a 5-6 hour show, still went through all of it. Doesn't even feel long.
Yeah, and I watched it the first time. I'm gonna watch it again. Like, I mean, how many times did I watch that Naito and Omega match from G1? I watched that shit like 5 times. I've seen the highlights like at least 10 times. Like, I'm looking for a reason. Like, if somebody didn't see it or somebody doesn't know about it.
You know all the spots and
yeah,
all the
dude. I'm looking for a reason to show it to people. It's like Inception or Mad Max, where like I'm like waiting for somebody to say they haven't seen it so I can watch it again.
I remember like at the shop, you have a couple of people come in. Some dude was talking about NJPW. I was like,
Right?
I was like, oh, that's my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, like, how many people have I shown that Kota Ibushi match to? And even the Kenny Omega versus the 9-year-old girl, 8-year-old girl. I like things like that you want to show over and over again. When was the last WWE? Even that Finn Balor and AJ Styles match, as awesome as it was, like, you're not just gonna show that to a random person because that obviously means something. There's a story behind that. That's not. But and not saying it's not awesome, but it and that's their high peak. That's WWE's high peak.
Even AJ Styles in freaking WWE's pretty gimped.
Yeah, that's the thing, and we talked about it with Jericho.
Look at this match with Tanahashi, his Okada,
yeah, we just saw that Shinsuke match
and
the
that
other day.
Shinsuke Classic.
Oh, dude, that match. I'm so mad that like New Japan wasn't a part of my life when that happened. Cause that shit, dude, it was, and his match with Okada, like, yeah, I've been going back trying to watch. I'm gonna try to get some more.
Watch his match with Kota.
Oh shit, I might fucking die.
Yeah, watch his match with Kota.
I actually want to watch some older Tanahashi matches, cause obviously now he's getting older. Especially the last couple events after G1, he's had that wear and tear.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see him in his prime. I want to see him in his Okada days. Where he's just. I mean, he's still
It was between him and Shinsuke at that point.
Oh,
They were the 1 and 2.
That I gotta see, and it's crazy because even though AJ Styles and Shinsuke, when you do watch them in New Japan and WWE, it's a lot. They do have a lot more freedom to be themselves, which is cool. You don't, but you do see the amount that's held back, like Jericho. Dude, Jericho, I still think that every time he's putting the beats on somebody in New Japan, in his mind, he's pretending that's Vince and the creative over there. Like, he's just taking it out on them. But yeah, so, yeah, last year was an amazing year, and I think this year is just going to be more phenomenal. And it's crazy because you watch these events, and you're like, how is it going to top it? Like, even if you get something that, like, this Wrestle Kingdom probably wasn't better than last year's. Like, I didn't see all of last year's Wrestle Kingdom, but I hear the people saying that last year's was way better. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. But that doesn't mean that this year's was bad at all. It was great. So it's like, you know, it's like, it's weird because you watch one event, and you're like, how is this going to top it? Dude, we watch the G1 Climax almost every day, and every day we're like, how the fuck is this going to top this match?
So my highlight of my summer. I don't give a fuck. My summer might be whack, but yeah, G1 was popping.
Shit. I'm waiting for, what is the next one? The Super Juniors, right?
Super Juniors, yeah.
Yeah,
That should be in the spring sometime.
That I can't wait for.
The New Japan Cup is before that, right?
So wait, what's the difference between the New Japan Cup and G1 Climax?
I
It's like the same thing, right?
It's like the mix of King of the Ring and Royal Rumble. The fact that you get the tournament, but you go to
So, but
I
the
never
cup,
followed-
cup you get a shot at the title,
Yeah,
but not
yeah.
on the big stage.
not you get it at an earlier event or something.
Oh, okay. So it's a guaranteed shot, but it's not at the at Wrestle
I
Kingdom.
never watched the New Japan Cup,
Mhm.
to my understanding, but Shibata won and he got a shot at Okada.
Okay, so yeah, so it's
mean,
probably like
yeah,
the.
I guess.
So it's just like another.
It might be like what King of the Ring was. So you get a shot at the title before.
Okay, all right. No, I was just wondering because I'm assuming it's a big deal because you hear about people winning the G1 Cup and going after the title. But I was like, what's the difference between that and G1? And I guess it's essentially the same thing except G1. The only
G1
difference is
more
you're
prestigious.
yeah, G1's more prestigious, and obviously you're going to main event. So that's like, I cool, but you still get a shot.
I wish they would just still stay with that trophy and just get that briefcase shit out of there.
Yeah. Like, there's no need to hold the briefcase. I mean, like, it is cool seeing some people with it, but I don't think it's a. And it's funny, that briefcase idea was Jericho's idea, right? At least
What?
the whole briefcase thing,
The Money in the Bank.
the Money in the
No
Bank
Money in the
briefcase.
Bank? Oh.
Yeah,
That was his idea.
yeah, that's pretty funny. But anyways, yeah. So it's crazy that you have so much content and it's all these tournaments are a big deal and that's another way I think the WWE can benefit from showcasing talent without having to throw them into the main event mix or into your main card mix. Do tournaments. Have like
WWE have a shitload of roster, have a whole lot of talent, and you're not doing at least Triple H
Yeah.
did the Cruiserweight awesome tournament. He did the Mae Young Classic awesome tournament.
The UK one.
The UK, well, I never seen it, but from what I've heard, it was awesome.
That was dope.
I mean, you have so much opportunity to put, wrestlers over and give them a stage to shine. I mean, bring back King of the Ring.
Dude,
Don't do that when
I-
he gets that stupid King gimmick.
Just bring back King of the Ring, make it a network thing, and just have a quality wrestling matches for King of the Ring. No interference, none of that. Just have a legit, straight up quality match.
Yeah, look, like you have Royal Rumble that leads into WrestleMania. In between WrestleMania and SummerSlam, you have a long time. So do a tournament to lead into SummerSlam.
You have enough some Andre Classic that
Yeah.
doesn't benefit. You just get a trophy and like, hey, I
Yeah.
won the Andre Classic.
And-
Nobody remembers.
And that's cool, but the fact that they push it as if it's a big deal and it's really not, it's just a
Yeah.
thing to like. And the thing
They
is,
need to
you
treat it
want
like
to.
the New Japan- the
they-
Wrestle
yeah.
Kingdom.
Vince wants this to be, I don't know if it's Vince or whoever, but whoever in WWE wants, they keep calling this sports entertainment. They keep ripping off all these sports like things where like they give you stats and and this and that. Like,
Man, they don't even call the wrestlers; they call them superstars.
yeah. So
Not
if
allowed
if you
to call it
wanna
wrestling.
if you wanna be like sports so much, one of the biggest things in sports are playoffs.
I mean, you already have all these sponsors, right? You can put that shit on the fucking mat and treat it as a sports event,
Right?
You know, it's
Yeah.
got all these fucking sponsors and shit.
Dude, the sponsors
have the
don't.
Mountain Dew right there and be like, "Hey,
Yeah,
Kroneman."
Dude,
Fuck outta
New
here.
Japan does that shit. Like,
It's just-
the thing is, like, it's funny. They think that they have to be all, like, cookie cutter PG and, like, fun and goofy and stuff to get sponsors. Nah, dude. They don't care. If their name is on the ring or somewhere,
you just got to show a shot of Cole with the fucking
Yeah,
Mountain
right?
Dew.
they were
label
doing that at
too.
one point, remember? I don't know if they still do, but they had the Mountain Dew
Stupid.
on the announcer's table. Yeah, there's so many options, but...
Oh, yeah, the
Because, no matter how you cut it, wrestling is wrestling. People are fighting. Granted, it's a scripted version of, like boxing or whatever, but, like, because, well, for the most part, for what we know, boxing is not scripted. But, that's a whole other story. It's not supposed to be scripted, but that's a whole other story. But, see, the thing is, like, you're fighting each other. It's like you're watching a Kung Fu movie and you want them to tone it down. But why are you watching it? Because it's a Kung Fu movie. You're watching people beat the shit out of each other. Whatever, it doesn't make any sense. But thankfully we have New Japan and the ROH app should be out this year. So that's a big deal. Like, that's a really big deal because now we have a lot more content. And mind you, people go back and forth so you can see, like Jay White. Jay White was in ROH for a while.
He was the excursion.
Yeah, so you get to follow the excursions, and I want to follow Kitamura's Kitamura. I want to follow his excursion because I've never done that. Like, so that's it's cool that the amount of wrestling content we have. So, but anywho, so that was our list of the top matches and top wrestlers of 2017. And what the fuck is that?
What that dude?
Oh God.
Yeah.
What time was that picture posted?
20 minutes ago.
And what time was that comment posted? Oh, you can't see?
I don't know.
I bet you that shit came like...
7 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I bet you that shit came like right away. But anywho, yeah, so that was our countdown. We'll be back with another episode. We're going to count down our top movies of 2017, our top video games of 2017. And maybe we'll throw in our top shows, too. I mean, I watch maybe like 5 different series, whatever, but, so...
Yeah, I can't really do that.
No. I mean, I can say right
I
now...
just watch
it's-
the same shit.
Yeah, in no particular order, it's Rick and Morty, the last season, Game of Thrones last season, Punisher's last season, Stranger Things last season, and there was something else on there. But yeah, that's that. Oh, well, Chris says Dragon Ball Super. Can't argue with that. But anywho, so we'll be back. And like I said earlier in the episode, Comic Bar Con is going to be back. What is it, February 10th at Farmingdale, Long Island, at the Nutty Irishman bar. There's gonna be drinks, there's gonna be art, there's gonna be cosplay, there's gonna be music. So stay tuned to Successfully Failing on Facebook and Instagram for more details. And also check out the Successfully Failing online store. A lot of mine and Chris's art will be there. Currently, my stuff is there. I've got stickers, I've got prints. I got to update it with Chris's stuff eventually. But you can head over to successfullyfailing.storeenvy.com. Pick up some stuff there. Yeah, check out our Facebook, our Instagram, and check out Successfully Failing on Patreon. Help us keep this machine turning. Better quality stuff. Yeah, better quality stuff, better equipment, more in-your-face crap, more nonsense. And we'll be back. Hopefully we'll be back with Nick, because Nick has been missing from the show for a while. And I know you all miss him, all 5 of you. Oh, the Knicks are winning?
Yeah.
Well, that's a Christmas miracle. Any last words, X?
Happy birthday, Rodney and Drew.
Oh, wait, our Drew? Or a different Drew?
Your Drew.
What's his birthday?
Is his birthday tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow. Okay.
January?
Okay,
right?
I know it wasn't
I
today.
know
Oh, yeah.
Rodney's birthday is tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
I know Drew's birthday is nearby.
Somebody else's birthday's nearby, too.
Fuck that other dude.
Yeah. Just in case any of you 5 or 6 people listening, yeah, if you want to make cake, you want to send over, a present or anything, just shoot us a message. It's Xavian's birthday in a couple days, so
I'll take cake.
Yeah, he'll take cake. He'll take all the cake.
Cake and hugs.
Yes. So until then, happy birthday, Drew. Happy birthday, Rodney. And what up, Chris? Peace.